I want to go to more hypocrisy and more problems at the other end of the country now. You all know about Brisbane getting the grand final. Well, a few days after the grand final was going to be the usual Noosa Triathlon. But that's been scrapped. Let's catch up with Rob Neeley, who's with the Chamber of Commerce in Noosa, a delightful part of the world. Rob, tell us about how important the triathlon is and on what possible rationale has it been scrapped when virtually just a few days beforehand you can have 30,000 people at a grand final in Brisbane?
Chris, it's astonishing, and thanks for having me on to talk about it tonight. Look, the backstory of this is the local council up here commissioned an internal report recently that they didn't actually tell any of the business community about that was being commissioned. And then late last Friday afternoon, in the best style of federal governments, they dropped it on us, and the report was then tabled on Monday morning at 10:30, and they voted unanimously to cancel or to prohibit any gatherings over 500 people. The background of this in Queensland is that Queensland Health put together a framework for events to run. I mean, we've only got 30 cases, I think, here in Queensland at the moment that are active out of a population of 5 million people. And the Ironman organisation that was looking to run the tri, they had a COVID-safe plan all put together, and they're a very reputable organisation. And the Noosa Tri every year brings in up to $20 million in benefits to the economy here over the 4-day weekend.
So it's definitely coronavirus restrictions that have seen them cancel it. We've just seen some pictures of it run in years gone by. People out, of course, in the sunshine, on the beaches, lining the streets. It's hardly the highest risk activity when it comes to the coronavirus, and especially when you say there's only 30 active cases in the whole of the state.
Yes, and that's quite correct. So the pictures you may have seen up on the screen while I was talking were definitely not what the Ironman people were planning on this year. They had brought the entire event down to about 3,500 competitors, and they had a COVID-safe plan in to keep all of the spectators away and at 1.5 metres apart. On top of that, they were only going to allow competitors from Queensland to compete. Wow. So we were astonished, absolutely astonished, that the council, in their wisdom, without any evidence-based science backing it, they voted unanimously to can the tri, but still allowed other events like markets, community markets of up to 500 people to go ahead.
This is just nuts. Let's just be very clear here. Because of coronavirus, no competitors were going to be coming in from interstate. Obviously, no tourists are coming into Queensland from interstate either. So it was going to be a Queensland event with special conditions to limit the number of competitors and spectators. So you've gutted the event anyway to make it COVID compliant, and they still axe it. And just a few days earlier, in October, you're going to have the AFL Grand Final at the Gabba. Why such different interpretations of risk in Queensland?
Well, look, Chris, you're spot on, and there shouldn't be any different interpretations of risk. The council up here, and we get on very well with them, the Chamber of Commerce gets on very well with council, and we're in contact with them all the time, but you know, they made this decision over and above. They have usurped the authority of the Chief Health Officer of Queensland. The only person that can actually tick that event off is the Chief Health Officer, and then if it's COVID compliant, they can go ahead. An hour after the Noosa Council voted unanimously to stop any events over 500 people, the Sunshine Coast Council, only 30 kilometres from us, then approved a tri to be run in 2 weeks' time on the 13th of September by the same organisation.
It's nuts, Rob. It hurts people. It damages their lives and their livelihoods. It costs more people money. It costs jobs. I hate hearing about it, but thanks so much for sharing your situation with us.
Thanks for having us on, Chris.
Rob Neely there, who's with the Chamber of Commerce in Noosa. Just the madness of that. The millions of dollars handed out from taxpayers to the AFL to put on their grand final in Brisbane. Good on them. But what about the Noosa Triathlon? That's scrapped. Just madness.